So, all these recordings where I was like, seems like rambling. The reason why I haven't taken them down is because basically once I get to 5 years, unless there's like a whole bunch of messages and people want me to keep going and blah blah blah, my account blows up. See, once I get to 5 years no contact, it's just going to be about music, and it's just going to be a highlight reel. Now I've made a whole bunch of recordings on my camera, including today, and just basically all these walks I've been on since finishing January 31st. I haven't got anything negative to say. It's just basically me just recording beautiful scenery and how I currently feel and all this type of thing, and it's very, very positive in my mind. It's very, very positive, and I don't have anything negative to say about any past employment. So I took some recordings today too, just like maybe a minute or one song of each band, and the rest I just left. And I was gonna record, just go for a walk and show you guys the 9 stages, but I was there from about, I caught a Uber from here because of the car situation. It's Sunday, so I need to spend $200 on getting a new battery tomorrow when the store opens. Listen. So the thing is I'll upload them all once I have employment. And then once we get to 5 years no contact, it's just gonna be me uploading my music, cover songs. Now, when I do my music, I can actually make my music on here on the phone and put headphones in and do all that type of stuff. It's only the cover songs when I have to play it on there, and I'm usually very quiet. But the thing is I pump it up for you guys. My thing is like I do my very best. Sometimes I get distracted, and my TV might be at 30. 100 is But once I get like 5 p.m. or 4 p.m. actually onwards, my rule to myself is, I pump it up to 60 when I'm doing those cover songs, and I leave the doors open for air, but I close the doors and I don't have it louder than 20 after 4 p.m. I just pump it up like that for the cover songs, and that is annoying for some neighbours, but they tolerate it. They've told me to cut it sometimes, but then I just told them that, and they're like, okay, But they left it at that, and no one else has harassed me, and I've been doing it for a number of months now, haven't I? So the thing is property management hasn't said anything to me, so I'd like to thank my neighbours for that, I do my very best to try and make it, so I don't know when people go to work when they run businesses, but I know that if you're working 9 to 5, you're going to be awake after 5 p.m, otherwise you're just coming home or whatever. And if you're 7 till 7, you're still not going to be home for another 2 more hours. And if you start at 7 at night, if I start singing at 5 p.m, that means, or you should be up around then, because that's what I do. So I try and do that. But now I'm currently looking for work. I've noticed that, I got 3,000 views on my recording about autism, ADHD, and dating, because I just done it. I was like, why wait around? I'm just going to do it and then go basketball shooting. And it was like midday, and then instead of getting my average view, I got 3,000 views. Timing, see? Now, back on track. Typical ADHD. Not going to take that out because it's realistic. Now, when I get to 5 years no contact. It's just going to be music and highlight reel. None of these talks, unless you guys ask for them and send messages and blah blah blah. No, I'm all good with that. I'm okay with that. Um, yeah, I mean this whole that's another topic. Stay on track, Daniel. Okay, so why did I predict that? I think I gave a good enough description as to why I'm not saying that they'll make the finals every year, these four teams. I'm just saying these are the four teams that'll win championships from 2024 through to 2034. 10 years, 34, 33, then the next 10 years will be different. Turn on power saving. Yep, that means I've got 5% on my phone. So here we go. And that's because it was dominated by the Crusaders. And the reason why they have 5 teams in the Super Rugby is because what they had was before then was just the ITM, what rugby, or the back then it's called NPC. They had 4 divisions. In order to be in the top division, you had to be the best, right? And if you became last in the top division, you got relegated down to second, third, fourth, and whoever won the fourth got up to third, and third goes up to second, so on and so forth. Now, the most dominant provinces, the most dominant regions, was always Wellington, October, Wellington, Canterbury, Auckland, Otago, and Waikato. There was the rare occasions where other ones won, but 90% of those championships, of all those tournaments, was always won by these 5, and then the last 10% was others, and then it'll be like, they wouldn't win it for another 20 years, and then they'd be like, remember the days of this season, and they'll be like, our great club has won all these championships, but usually those championships were second, third, or fourth division, and it was like 20 years ago when they won the first division, right? Well, first division was usually won by Otago, Wellington, Auckland, Waikato, and Canterbury. And so now you got the Canterbury Crusaders, who represent 6 regions. You got the Wellington Hurricanes, represent 6 regions. You got the Waikato Chiefs, they represent 6 regions, not just one. Auckland Blues represent 6. Otago Highlands represent 6. So the Crusaders won 7, so like they've got it in the DNA of all these provinces to be like the greatest, right? Even though it's not Super Rugby history, because Super Rugby started in 1996, it's in the DNA because up until the 2010s, ITM had pretty much on NPC had pretty much the same amount of mana, or a little bit less by the time we got to the mid 2000s, or about late 2000s. But up until the 2010s, it was, if you got a final in these places, it would be packed out, or be, because from 1976 up until 1996, it was just the NPC, and that was it. There was no Super Rugby. So, 1996 through to 2010, it was like, 1996 up to the mid 2000s was still perceived NPC as the one, and then it started to switch, and then it got to the 2010s, and then perspectives fully changed by then. So still in the memory of these other franchises when they were dominant. They're just as dominant as the Crusaders. So they're stepping up, you know what I mean? They're stepping up. They got their pep in the step still because of club history, and they remember watching all these great superstars, watching all these great athletes winning championships and stuff. So the Hurricanes have only won it once, so they're going to pick up 3. The Blues have won 4 now because they won 1. They'll win another 2 in the next 9 seasons. And then, you got ACT Brumbies were the first Aussie team to win it. So they haven't won it in about 20 years. So they're going to get pep in the step and then get a couple within this decade. Chiefs, same thing. They're Waikato based. Highlanders have only won it once. But they're Otago based, so they can remember all the great NPC championships, first division titles that they won, and they're going to be like, what the hell? And then, in that decade, they're going to win 4. Crusaders, they'll remember, they'll win 4, and then Perth Reds,